Welcome to 5 Minutes, your quick dive into the wide-ranging world of insurance, technology, and leadership. I'm Miguel Edwards, and I'll be your guide as we explore these topics that are transforming not just the insurance industry, but the business world at large. Along with sharing observations I've made over the span of my career in insurance, technology, and operations, I'll be chatting with some of the brightest minds in business and leadership. Whether you're a seasoned executive or a rising star, an industry expert, or just curious about how technology is revolutionizing insurance, this is your perfect spot for your weekly dose of insights. This is 5 Minutes.
What would you say to the frontline worker who's saying, no, David, it's because the executives just don't know what we're dealing with on a day-to-day. They're not clued into what our work is actually like.
Yeah, it's interesting. I hear that.
Okay.
I do hear that, right? We have people on the front line. We have, but they're also coming at it from a singular perspective as well.
Right.
And I think in a lot of cases, they're looking at what they see and they're not looking at it from another perspective, right? We had a situation recently where we had a frontline employee who they were filling out their annual employee survey and they were answering a question and they said, I feel like I'm being put in a position where I have to lie to a customer. Because I don't know that the carrier is going to do that. And I said, that's not lying, right? So they were looking at it from their perspective, right? I'm telling them their check is in the mail because that's what the carrier told us.
Right.
Okay, then our job is to, your job is to, you represent that customer. So that customer's not saying to you lie, right? And so I think a lot of times they're looking at it from a very singular focus as well.
Right.
And again, that's why I think bringing them into the process is critical.
It is. I get that. That makes a lot of sense because while you're bringing them along also too, you could be correcting a lot of ill-informed assumptions and narratives that could get the benefit of that broader experience.
Yeah. And I think, I think when they're part of the equation, part of the dialogue, I think then they stay longer. They want to be involved. They want to grow with you. They want to be part of it because they feel part of it.
Yeah, got it. David, you mentioned the word AI briefly in your last response and talked about you're bringing that into the call center. We can't have a conversation at an InsurTech conference without talking about AI, right? We'll be hung if we do that. So talk to me a little bit about Covenir's approach to evaluating AI opportunities and also too, I'd also be interested how you talk about that with your customers.
Yeah, it's funny. We were launching a campaign a while ago where we said, we use AI, but it's actual intelligence instead of artificial intelligence. But I think, in the world we live in, you're right, AI is everywhere. Now for us, we don't mandate technology. We leverage what a carrier wants to use. So if a carrier's on a certain technology stack, we will leverage that and use that on their behalf. Because I am an independent company, I'm not linked to this core system or that core system. We serve it. If there's a core system out there, I can guarantee you it's being used in my staff. My staff is accessing that. Same is true for a lot of the AI tools that are out there. We're now starting to get involved, a lot of them. Where we're leveraging it is for example, in the call center, we're looking at some AI tools that come as part of our telephony platform that'll allow us to do things like auto listening into the phone calls and providing insights real time to the agent, Sentiment. This carrier wants to call every customer by their first name. So are we leveraging that is that happen? Did the agent say, hey, Miguel, let me replay your policy number to you, Miguel. If they haven't done that, then they're getting that feedback real time during that experience. So we're looking at some pretty cool technologies that are out there. And again, we're really keen because we have to hone in on, because it's not our data. It's the customer's data. And so we really are in harmony with our customers, trying to be sure we're driving through that in a meaningful way.
Got it. look at your crystal ball and tell me what you see for the future of service providers, the future of technology and insurance. What's got you excited and what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think for us, right, the key thing for us, what I see is we're going to be around. We're not for everybody. Not everybody wants to do it. I think the things that are where we're really coming into play are in those carriers that I think are forward thinking and don't want to try and control everything.
Yeah.
Right. Carriers that want to control everything. Right. And that's historically in this industry. A lot of the bigger players, they want everything in-house. They want to manage everything. They want to control everything, but you can't do everything well.
Yep.
Right. And so what I can do really well, you might as well benefit from that.
Right.
So I think where we're seeing the trend coming into providers like myself, like Covenir BPO, is really on those places where they want to focus, they want to leverage, and then they want to keep their focus and their key resources focused on the things that are strategic to them. And let me do the rest of it.
Love that. Awesome.
Thank you for joining this episode of 5 Minutes. If you've enjoyed our discussion, we'd love for you to share it with anyone else you think might find it interesting. Also, please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're listening on and hit that bell to stay on top of the game with our practical 5-minute episodes. We look forward to seeing you again next week.